Today, we're going to be looking closer at the House of Representatives, kind of what the different roles are within the House, what it takes to become a member of the House of Representatives. So, membership. The framers intended the House to be closely in touch with the people. They'd be chosen by a popular vote. So, formal qualifications, you have to be at least 25 years old, a U.S. citizen, must be a resident of the state that you represent, and that you should live in the district that you represent, but it's not required. And then people can be expelled from the House. That would require a two-thirds majority vote. Informal qualifications, you must appeal to your constituents. So they must, you have to run an election, you have to be elected. So they must, like who you are, what you stand for, and must be able to raise money because it is expensive to run campaigns. Benefits. So to become a member of Congress, to become a member of the House of Representatives, starting salary is around $174,000. The Speaker of the House makes over $200,000, and if you're a majority leader or a minority leader, you're making just under $200,000. So this is their job. They are representing their district from their area. We will be doing an assignment where you will be researching who your representative is based on where you live. And so that is their job. They have a website. You are able to communicate with them, ask them questions about what they're voting on. And so that's for the whole year. There's certain times when Congress is in session. And so they are supposed to be there listening to what's going on and voting on issues. So for a member of the House, the term is 2 years. So other benefits, they get a tax deduction for two residences because they're living in Washington, D.C., while they're having to make all the different votes and be a part of Congress when it's in session. But then they also have a home in their district. They get travel allowances. They usually get provided a staff to help them run their office, health and retirement benefits, the franking privilege. They get free mailing, so they don't have to buy a postage stamp, just buy their signature. This goes back to colonial time. They get the use of the gym, restaurants, and other amenities at the Capitol. And then also legal immunity for statements made while Congress is in session. Reapportionment and redistricting. So there are 435 members in Congress, and they represent more than 320 million Americans. So it's approximately 735,000 per representative, and this number fluctuates by state. So changes in population. Reapportionment is required every 10 years. So that's when the country does a census to kind of re-gauge where people are living. And then seats can be redistributed among the states based on the census. So if more people move to one state, they get more seats. If they leave another, they'll get seats taken away. Before the number of seats was fixed in 1929, Congress added seats as the population grew. So we've had 435 seats since 1929, and I think they pretty much just kept it that way because that's kind of as many seats can fit in the House of Representatives right now. Gerrymandering. Congress reapportions seats, but states create the district boundaries. So gerrymandering is a process. It's done by both political parties. So whoever's party is in charge at the time, they attempt to redraw boundaries to give them a political advantage. So the different boundaries, instead of being like all of Downey is going to be one district, they may pick and choose where boundaries are based on what how voters are registered, what part of the city they feel is maybe more conservative, more liberal, and so it can get kind of complicated. And so the Supreme Court has ruled that each district should have equal population. You can't have one district with like 100 people and another district with 5,000 people. You need to try to balance things out. Leadership in the House. So the Speaker of the House is Nancy Pelosi, and she is the most powerful member and presiding officer. And so she is elected by members of the House and comes from the political party that holds power. So currently, the Democrats have the majority in In the House, so the Democratic members will elect who their speaker will be. The Constitution does not lay out powers for the Speaker. They preside over debates and recognize speakers. They assign bills to committees, assign individual House members to committees. And so this gives them a great power over other people's political careers because some committees are more desirable than others, get more attention. And they are second in line to presidential succession. So if both the president and vice president die, the Speaker of the House is the next person in line. Leadership in the House. Floor leaders. Each party elects a floor leader to manage actions and strategies of the party in the House. The floor leader of the majority party is known as the majority leader and is the assistant to the speaker. So this is the Democratic majority leader. I believe his name is Steny Hoyer. The floor leader of the minority party is known as the minority leader, and they are the chief spokesperson for the minority party. Whips. They encourage fellow party members to vote with party leadership, collect information, alert leadership. Can be up to 100 assistant whips reporting to the whip. So the election of leadership occurs at a party's caucus and this is a meeting of all House members from a particular political party. Role of committees. So standing committees. The House has 20 standing committees. These are permanent committees. They're there to address major areas in which most laws are proposed: agriculture, budget, and armed services. Each committee has at least 4 subcommittees to take a narrower focus. So, for instance, the Armed Service Committee has subcommittees air, land power, sea power, and others. The role of committees. Select committees usually serve a limited duration, specific and not covered by standing committees. The Speaker and Minority Leader appoint members of all select committees. Joint committees. They are joined with House and Senate members, and so these tend to be focused on broad issues that require both chambers. So a joint committee on taxation would be an example of an important issue that would need representatives from both the House and the Senate, and they can advise Congress on new tax policies or changes on tax policy. Committee chairs. So head of the committee chosen by the majority power, and they have a lot of power. Committee membership, important to be involved to promote political career, can serve on 2 standing committees and 4 subcommittees. So when we're looking at someone that's a member of the House of Representatives, they do have a lot of different roles that they would play. They have to go to the House. They are listening to debates and discussions about laws. They will also serve on, a committee, several committees that they have to attend to, have to also help to develop law and policy. And then they also have to be present to vote on the issues. Like that is their main role, is to cast a vote, represent their constituents back at home on what they would like to see for things like tax policy and changes to agriculture policy, changes in defense policy. And so they have a lot of different responsibilities. So you want to make sure you're going back and doing your key terms for these notes.